forget about it. Look elsewhere. Montreal is not for you. The secrets. It is a lie. Hi lovely people, welcome back to the Tinaverse. It's been a while since we had a sit down video like this because the summer turned me into a roaming ambassador. The summer revealed my true identity. Like at every point in time I wanted to go somewhere. I wanted to see all there is to see. And even that, I don't think I've been to all the places that I wanted to go to because work and other things did not permit me to visit all the places that I wanted to see. So for the places that are summer friendly, I guess we are going to continue next summer. And this is my first fall in Canada, so I'm looking forward to some fun activities this fall. I don't know what to expect yet, but I'm hoping that there'll be some nice things to engage in. And yeah, that should basically be it. So I'm going to be having more sit down videos like this from now on. So if there's anything on your mind that you want me to be discussing, you can drop them down in the comment section and I'll certainly work on it and then I make a video on it. So today we are going to be talking about the Canadian job market. And I think this video is long overdue because it is based on some questions that some people have been asking me about the Canadian job market, but I've not had enough time to put them together. So I thought of getting it out of the way today. So I'm going to be justing you about my discoveries, the secrets. I'll share everything with you, don't worry. So stay glued to your screen. I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm just going to be answering 10 questions and I'll do so as quickly as I can so that we can get it out of the way. So let's start from the first question, which says that what do you think is the biggest myth about finding a job in Canada? If you ask me, the biggest myth for me is that you can easily get a job when you get to Canada. It is a lie.
It was all a lie. Guys, it was all a lie. She lied.
It is a lie. You see the way I'm emphasizing on the lie. Well, some people do get a job easily based on their skills and their experiences, but what are the odds? What are the chances? It's very slim because the Canadian job market that I came to meet, especially here in Montreal, is very competitive, extremely competitive. So you are definitely going to get a job, but it's not as if you come in tomorrow, by next week you've landed yourself a job. It doesn't work like that. Some people are fortunate enough to get it that way, but others are also struggling to secure themselves something good. So for me, I would advise that if you are gainfully employed in your home country or wherever you are coming from and you want to come and settle in Canada, it is proper that you come well prepared, like at least have some significant amount of money on you that is going to cater for your needs while you wait to get a job, because you can stay at home for as long as 6 to 7 months before you get something of your preferred choice, like a job that you really want to do. So in that period, your bills are not going to wait for you. You are going to pay all your bills. You have to take care of your grocery bills. You are going to take care of your Wi-Fi, your bus pass. That's if you move around a lot. You are going to pay your rent. And all these things are not cheap. They are not going to wait for you. Especially when you don't know how soon you are going to get a job. It is better to come prepared, have some cool cash saved on you so that it can sustain you while you wait for that job. Otherwise, depression will catch you.
By the special grace of God, everything will change in Jesus' name. Amen.
So question number 2 says, how does the job market in Montreal compare to other Canadian cities? Like I mentioned earlier, I've only lived in Montreal and I am yet to live in other Canadian cities, so I can't say much about it. But the little research that I have done makes me aware that even if there's no difference, the French language alone distinguishes this place from other cities like Toronto, like Vancouver, like all the other English speaking cities in the other provinces, because this place French is a very big deal. So if you can speak French in Montreal, in Quebec, like, you have a great advantage. But if you don't speak French, you are going to really struggle, because most of their jobs, especially the jobs that require human interaction, require bilingual individuals. So if you are not a bilingual, or if you can't speak French at all, forget about it. Look elsewhere. Montreal is not for you.
Well. Next question.
I think my previous answer even answers the next question, but let me still read it out. It says, is it essential to speak French to secure a job in Montreal? My answer is a yes, with the capital Y. Yes. Hey, in this province, French is gold. If you can speak French, you don't know what you have. Because for a role like even a salesperson at a supermarket, if you can't speak French, you are not going to be able to get that job. Almost all the jobs, even if you ask me, I would say about 98% of the jobs in this city require someone who can speak French. So you can imagine how much of a big deal the French is. And especially even if you want to work in the government sector and you can't speak French, forget about it. Montreal is not for you. Look elsewhere. Go to the other English speaking provinces. Because in the government institutions, when you get there, everything is written in French. Even when you go to the hospital, the government hospitals, all the instructions are in French. So you can imagine the weight the language has in this province. So I would say that it is like a prerequisite. If you can't speak French and you are well educated and you come to live in Montreal, I don't know how long you will last here, because if you want to stay here for long, then you must decide to learn how to speak French, and that is the only way that your stay is going to last here. Otherwise, forget about it. You won't last in this province. Question number 4 says, how can you stand out when applying for jobs in Montreal's competitive job market? Well, I think that one thing that will make you stand out is what I've been saying in all my other answers. French. Yes. So you should be prepared to learn French. That is one thing that will really make you stand out, and you should tailor your CV to suit every role that you are applying for. So if you have a CV for an administrative assistant and you are going to apply for a role of a logistics coordinator and you are using the same CV, you might definitely lose out on that job because they require different skills for different jobs. So you have to tailor your CV to suit each role that you are applying for. And there's a format that Canadian CVs have, so you should make sure that your CV has that format. And then I think you should also highlight your soft skills. So make sure that whatever skills that the job that you are applying for is asking for, if you have those skills, you should make sure you highlight them, put them out there, let the employer see that this is what I'm capable of doing. And then that is also going to make you stand out. And I hear a lot of people saying networking also gives you the opportunity. Well, I can't say much about it because I feel it is quite difficult to network here. Maybe I'll talk about it in the latter part of the video. Number 5, what resources are available in Montreal to help job seekers, especially immigrants? I think the resources that I know about are the job boards like LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Indeed. They have quite a significant amount of jobs posted up on there. I think there's the Canadian Job Bank as well, where jobs are posted there, so you can go there and apply. And then there are agencies that help new immigrants to find jobs. So I know about the agencies too. And there are some job fairs. I've not attended any job fairs since I came here though, but I know once in a while some companies organize job fairs to source for employees. So you can explore all those options, and I'm sure those options might help you secure a job. If you're watching me and you know of other resources that are available that I haven't mentioned, you can put them in the comment section so that I can also learn from it. And I also learned that volunteering here is a big deal. It also gives you opportunities to secure a job, because when you come, you volunteer in the non-governmental organizations. It gives you the experience, the local experience to put on your CV, and that also helps. So yes, I think I've mentioned 4 so far. I've mentioned job fairs, the agencies, the job boards, and the voluntary jobs. So if you know of any other ones, you can also drop them in the comment section, and then we all learn from that. Number 6, how important is Canadian work experience for landing a job? I think the answer to this question is also a myth for me, because one of the myths about the Canadian job market for me is that you don't need to have Canadian work experience to get a job. Yes, it is true. There are some jobs that you can secure without having a Canadian job experience, but it is very crucial if you really want to get to the top. It is very crucial to have Canadian experience. Like if you are applying for a certain role and you are competing with somebody who has Canadian experience and you don't have it, guess who is going to get a job? Certainly not you. So that is the disadvantage for the immigrants, because most of the time Most immigrants are coming from their home countries and they don't have any experience, any foreign experience. They are now coming to acquire that experience. And then some employers are also demanding you to have Canadian experience, so sometimes it's quite challenging. But it doesn't mean that if you don't have the experience you will not get a job. You might get a job, you might just not get your preferred job immediately. It will take a while after you have gained that experience from other places, and then you can get your preferred job. The next question is, what challenges do immigrants face when entering the Canadian job market? And I think the answer to this question is basically a summary of whatever I've spoken about earlier on, especially in Montreal. One of the major challenges, French, for the people who don't come from francophone countries and they only speak English. It is quite a struggle for them to integrate into the Canadian job market here in Montreal. Another difficulty is about networking, because it's difficult to have a community here. In fact, your neighbor does not even know you. Your neighbor sees you and does not even say hi. So it's difficult to make friends, get to know people. And here, one thing that I've observed here is that the referrals work a lot. Let's say if you are applying for a certain job and I'm already in that company and then I refer you, it gives you an upper hand than somebody who didn't get any referral. So referrals work a lot. But if you are new here and you don't know anybody, how can you even get somebody to refer you to start with? So networking is a bit challenging here. Another thing that I think is challenging for new immigrants is understanding the job market here, especially because you are used to the job market back at home, and if you haven't traveled before, you don't know what the employers expect, you don't know the networking practices, you don't know the job search strategies that the employers are looking for. So all those things contribute to the challenges. And another thing too is that if you stay at home for a long time before securing a job, there's also going to be a gap in your employment history, and that is also a challenge because your prospective employer wants to know that you've been in the job market for a while, like you've been working for a while, and then they see that you worked from this period to this period. So what happened in the interim? What were you doing when you weren't working? So that can also be a bit challenging because, like I said, when you come, it might take a while before you secure a job. So those are the few that come off head. If you can mention any of the challenges, maybe you are watching me and you've also experienced some of the challenges as a new immigrant, you can put them down in the comment section and then we also learn from it. Okay, so question 8 says, what are some common mistakes to avoid when job hunting in Canada? And my answer to this question is not based on just Canada. I think it is a worldwide thing. Some mistakes are basic mistakes that you shouldn't do when you're applying for jobs. You shouldn't apply with generic CVs and cover letters. Like when you're applying for these jobs, you should make sure that you really look out for the requirements of this role, the job description, and make sure that your CVs and your cover letters have those requirements and those job descriptions in there. Like make sure that whatever skills they are looking for is well highlighted in your CV. It is not going to guarantee that you're going to secure the job, but it increases your chances of securing the job that you want to. So you have to pay keen attention to detail. Look out for all the small hints, everything that the employer is asking for. Make sure that whilst putting out the application with your CV and your cover letter, you are hinting to this employer that I am the best person for you. I have all that you want. Because if you don't mention, how does the employer know that you have these things? So yeah, make sure that you just have your CV in the right format, and then it highlights whatever role that you are applying for. You have paid attention to the job description, you've paid attention to the requirements. I think another mistake that you shouldn't make when job hunting in Canada is to ignore the importance of language. I think I have emphasized that enough, because aside the fact that Montreal or Quebec is a bilingual province, Canada as a country is a bilingual country. They have two official languages, which is French and English. So if you can speak French, it gives you an upper hand. Like, you are hotter than somebody who can speak just English. So if you can learn the language, just take advantage of it. Learn as much as you can, because it is going to give you more opportunities than you've ever thought you were going to have. If I've not mentioned anything, you can put them down in the comment section and would learn that as well. We are almost done. 2 more questions to go. So question 9 says, how does the cost of living in Montreal affect job seekers and salary expectations? If you ask me, I'd say that the cost of living here is high, but I've spoken to people who have lived in other provinces like Toronto, and they say that it is very expensive there, and that is why they chose to leave that place and come to stay in Montreal. So trying to say that Montreal is relatively cheaper than Toronto, but when you compare the salaries here are relatively lower than those places. So it's like it balances out, you understand? Those places are more expensive and they have higher salaries, and this place is cheaper and then it has lower salaries. I know that rent here too is very expensive, and that takes a chunk of your salary. So I think when you live in this part of the world, you just have to be very strategic. You have to be conscious with your finances. Otherwise, you're going to be living a hand-to-mouth kind of lifestyle, and it will be very difficult for you to save. So you have to really manage your finances well to be able to survive it, because the rent is expensive, the grocery bills, it's nothing to write home about. Like, things are very expensive here. So like, when you get the job, your salary is certainly going to enable you pay your bills. There are no two ways about that. There's no way you'll be working and you'll not be able to pay your bills. You'll be able to pay it, but being able to save some money after all that depends on you. If you have an extravagant lifestyle, you might struggle with your savings. So that is what I know for now. Like, the cost of living here is no beans.
Oh my god, it's not funny.
We are finally on the last question for the day, which says, how can you navigate the cultural differences in the Montreal workplace? My answer to this would be that you should be ready to embrace diversity, because the population here is extremely diverse. So once you go into a workplace, you are going to meet people from various ethnicities, various backgrounds, and everybody has their way of life, and you should be ready to embrace it. If you have the mindset of, baby, I'm free by and say na you're going to struggle. You know, don't expect people to think the way you do. Don't expect people to behave the way you do. Just observe their communication patterns and try to adapt to it. For instance, here smoking is very much allowed, so people go for smoking breaks and all that. You can't come and ask somebody, why are you smoking? It's not good for your health. You can't touch somebody in a way that they don't like and say that you'd have issues. It will be termed as harassment. So just pay attention to all those things, and I think you should be good to go. And you should also understand the bilingualism. At least you should learn a few French words, like the words that you can defend yourself with. I think it will also help, because if especially most of the people that you are working with are francophones, at least you should let them know that you are willing to be part of them, you're willing to learn the language. I think all those things would make it easier for you to integrate. And if you don't understand something, ask questions, seek feedback from your colleagues, from your supervisors. But if you don't know something and you decide to keep quiet about it, it might end up going against you at the end of the day. So we finally come to the end of today's video. I hope you learned something from it, and I want this video to be as interactive as possible. So share your thoughts in the comment section. Let me know what you learned from this video. If you have more experience in Canada than I do, and there are some things that you know about the job markets that I didn't touch on, you can also put them down in the comment section so that I get to learn from you, and then the other viewers also get to learn. At the end of the day, it's for the greater good of everybody. Thank you for staying glued to your screen till this point of the video. If you haven't subscribed already, don't forget to hit that button so that we can grow this community together. And don't forget to also share this video with your friends and your loved ones. Don't forget to hit that like button as well. I'll see you on my next one. It's bye for now. Mwah.